Hi guys, I'm back again today with me reacting to people react to 10 surprising facts about Islam. The reason I want to see other people's reaction is I want to see if we have different reactions about Islam, right? Because I don't know, it fascinates me as much as it fascinates you to watch other people, right? So that's why I'm reacting to other people react. Like, why not? Well, so before we start, don't forget to subscribe, click the bell button, and if you want to check my reaction to this, check down. You can just type Rukaiya 10 surprising facts about Islam and you will see the video. So anyways, let's go straight into this. This is Vlad and... How do you say this name? Yoghan? I'm so sorry if that's wrong. Let's get it.
So recently Andrew Tate has converted to Islam, and because of that, we're going to be looking at 10 surprising facts about Islam. You ready?
Yeah.
What the f***?
Islam is a religion that has become a staple here on FTD Facts, and there's still so much more that can be said about Islam on a whole. So guys, welcome back to another episode of FTD Facts. My name is Leroy Kenton, and I'm sharing just 10 surprising and interesting facts about Islam. So let's go.
You know what? Do you know anything about Islam before we start? I'll be real. All I know is that there's the Quran, and that there's a lot of strict things in the Quran, like a lot of things that you cannot and can't do. Because all I hear is people on social media going, "Haram! You lifted a pencil up the wrong way. Haram!" Like, that's all I hear nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, I'm familiar with the term haram, but I know literally nothing else.
Nah, I don't know anything else.
At number 10, it's important to know that Islam is the name of the religion, and a person who practices Islam is known as a Muslim. The adjective Islamic usually refers to objects and places and things, not people though. So you wouldn't say the Islamic people, you would say the Muslim people. And the term Mohammedanism used to describe the faith we refer to now as Islam, but Mohammedanism is an outdated term and some find it to be very offensive.
Well, I won't be saying that. You won't catch me saying that, bro. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, never. It's kind of surprising because it's just a name.
Yeah,
Well,
it's fine if it's offensive, but like I'm just saying, like I've never even heard the word before.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a word.
I find that Muslims do not describe Islam as a religion. Islam is often referred to as a deen, which comes from the Arabic word for way of life. Muslims believe that Islam is more than just a
I feel like I'm the one watching the video for the first time. To be honest, it feels like it.
religious belief, but it's a way of living in accordance with one's religious faith.
It makes sense because if you look at the Quran, although I don't know the specifics about it, as I said earlier, there's a lot of rules and there's a lot of things that you can and can't do.
Complicated to get into.
It sounds hard is what it sounds like, but yeah.
Argument, however, arises given the use of the term religion. So to others, the word religion and the phrase way of life are exactly the same thing. But I just wanted to just mention that. All, if not most of you, have heard the term jihad. And in the West,
I'm excited, not excited, like, oh, this will make me, like, I'm fascinated to see their reaction about this one. And also, I want to know, I wish they would talk about it before they go into the video. What do they think it means?
Western world, the word has been misused to mean
they don't know.
war.
Okay.
Now, the word jihad does not mean holy war. It actually means to struggle or to strive. In a religious context, it means a struggle to successfully surrender one's will to the will of God. Now, the term holy war gives a notion that the struggle is between Muslims and non-Muslims, which is totally the wrong context of jihad. There are also 6 articles of faith in Islam known as Arkan al-Iman, and these are basic beliefs that one must have in order to be considered a true Muslim. There's a belief in one God, a belief in all the true prophets of God.
So let's see it. All right, believe in day and judgment and the resurrection, belief in the... So these are just like almost like the 10 commandments, you'd assume, right?
Exactly.
Or no, the 10 commandments are rules that you have to follow. So these are just things that if you believe these things, I guess you can be considered a Muslim, but you have to believe all these things to be a Muslim. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, if you don't believe in the God that you're, you know what I mean? Like, that's probably a bad start.
One God.
Belief in the original scriptures revealed to Moses, David, as well as the prophet Muhammad. There's a belief in angels, belief in the day of judgment and the hereafter, and finally the belief in predestination by God, or in other words, fate. In relation to Christianity, you may have heard that Christianity and Islam are basically the same religion, right? Well, in the Christian belief, they believe that
I wonder what's their religion. Like, are they Christians or atheists or whatever they want? But I want to know also, because this is our first video of them, so I don't know what they believe in. But it would be nice to know.
Islam are basically the same religion, right? Well, in the Christian belief, they believe that Jesus died for the sins of humanity, and that's completely foreign in the Islamic concept. So the two religions are not in agreement based on the central teaching there. Islam teaches that one day the day of judgment will happen and every person will be resurrected and will be accountable to God for every word or deed that they've done. So a practicing Muslim is always striving to be righteous while hoping and praying for God's acceptance. Whereas in Christianity, Jesus dies as a substitute for the sins of everyone that has lived in the past, present, and future. And because of that, people have the opportunity to even be considered righteous by God in the day of judgment.
You know what it is? It's like, people always say, like, I've watched a few debates between Christians and Muslims and just other religions, and it's like, for me, it's very difficult to pick any sides, because how do you know? Like, how do you know any side? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? It kind of feels hard sometimes. You're like, you see all this and you're like, who's to believe? You know what I mean? There's so many books. Like, how long is the... Because the Bible is like 3,000 pages, and if you think me and Vlad are reading that shit, you have another thing coming, man.
Yeah, man.
And the Quran's probably similar, if not longer. So, like, there's just so much to know. And,
yeah,
like,
so you just, like, watch videos like these.
Yeah.
And whichever one...
convinces you.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta watch...
Him talking about him watching the debate of both sides and not knowing which side to pick. There are some videos that it's hard to, but most of the videos, it's based on your freaking logic, right? Which is logical, which makes more sense to you, right? As a human being, then that's what you choose. Because that's what I'm kind of like leaning towards. Like, whenever we do have those debate topic, I'm like, which one makes sense to me as a person? And I'm like, oh, I agree with that, right? If something doesn't make sense, I'm like, nah, right? So it's not that hard in a sense.
To debate, be like, you know what? That seems right.
Yeah,
that seems right.
right.
I'm gonna do that.
So two completely different fundamental central beliefs. Muslims also follow the lunar calendar or the Hijri calendar. The lunar calendar has about 11 days less than the solar calendar. Thus, every year, the months of the lunar calendar occurs 11 days prior to the previous solar year. There are two major holidays in Islam.
So wait, is it like a random month in the Middle East? Or wait, because I guess if you're Muslim but you're living in like Canada, does that, like, do you go off that calendar? How does that work? Like, if you're Muslim,
I think you use this is my knowledge of how I see things. You use the Western calendar, but when it comes to Islamic holidays, you use the lunar calendar. It's like the Chinese. They follow the calendar for their birthdays and everything else. But when it comes to Chinese New Year, they celebrate it under the lunar calendar, right? So I think it's the same.
Muslim, like, is it Muslims or is it the place?
There's Eid al-Adha, and that is at the end of the pilgrimage to Mecca, and Eid al-Fitr is at the end of Ramadan. And by the way, Ramadan is the 9th month of the lunar calendar, when it's believed that the Prophet Muhammad received the messages of the Quran. Another interesting fact is that Muslims had created a house of wisdom, Beit ul Hikmat in Arabic, and it was active during the 9th to the 13th centuries, where both Muslims and non-Muslim scholars sought to translate the world's knowledge into Arabic. Many classic works that might have otherwise been lost were preserved in Arabic and Persian and later translated into languages like Turkish, Hebrew, as well as Latin. Only 3 more facts left. And this one, very interesting. So in Islam, Allah has 99 names, and each of the name has a meaning, and Muslims believe that God has revealed 99 names or attributes in the Quran. And it's through these names that one can come to know the Creator. And a few
Allah, I know that one.
Allah, yeah, I know that.
Al-Kafid, Al-Basit, Al-Qabid.
You should just read the English one.
Me trying to read the language. That just looks like that looks like an impressive artist. That's all.
It literally looks like art. It's kind of cool looking.
I salute anybody who's Chinese or Arabic who can like read shit like that.
And they write from the right hand side to the left.
Imagine you're trying to write Al Musa Weir, and then you have to draw that shit. What the hell? You have to draw that?
Imagine being an unartistic person trying to learn that. That is literally impossible.
Excuse, guys.
It's actually easier than people would think, right? Because I took Japanese, Chinese, only those 2, and it's easier than people would think to write. So when I see Arabic, I'm like, yeah, it looks hard, and I feel like if you learn it, it's hard also. But if you write it, I feel like the writing part is the easiest part of that, right? But it looks beautiful though. It's like one of the, I don't know. It just looks so beautiful, to be honest.
Imagine being an unartistic person trying to learn that. That is literally impossible.
Excuse, guys. I can't learn Arabic. I'm just too...
Yeah, I don't have the art skills to draw these letters.
Can you imagine?
Words.
Why aren't you learning Arabic, man? Just not a good artist anymore, you know?
Yeah, and then you have to write from the right to the left.
These names are... Obviously, I'm not going to go through all 99 of them, but there's Ar-Rahman, meaning the All-Merciful. There's Al-Alim, and that means the all-knowing or the omniscient. Al-Wali means the protecting friend, patron, and helper. And finally, Ar-Razak, that's the ever-providing. Yeah, it's pretty fascinating. If you want to know more, just Google names of Allah. Second last fact is that if all Qurans in the world today were destroyed, the original Arabic would still remain. This is because millions of Muslims called Hafiz, or guardians, or memorizers, depending on the context, have actually memorized the Quran letter by letter, word for word, from the beginning all the way to the end.
How is that even possible, bro?
It's as if, like, if you can sing a song from start to finish, you can memorize a verse. I have not sat there and tried to memorize, but sometimes when we react to videos, I feel like I know it because we've reacted to them before. Like, for example, let's say a surah will be recited in a video, and I'm like, oh, this sounds familiar. I feel like I know it. It's like, I feel like I know what he's gonna say next in Arabic, not even in English, right? I can't memorize it in English, but when I hear it in the Arabic form, I feel like I know it. And I think it's because of the way that it flows and the tone, you just know it, right? I think if you know how to sing a song, right? If you can sing a song from A to B, A to Z, let me just say, you can memorize the Quran, to be honest. I don't think it's gonna be hard because not everybody's like, good at memorizing, but I feel like if you really want to, you can.
Dude is literally reading
to us who don't understand anything.
That to me, like, that's squiggles. Obviously it's a language, but that's squiggles. Yeah. Dude is reading a 5,000 page book.
I don't even speak Korean, but
every word.
You know what this looks like to me? Like, remembering all of this is like, you know that one guy who has like crazy memory? They took him on the helicopter and he like redrew New York City or some shit.
Oh yeah, that's
That's the type of like level of memorization
they just get,
right
like,
there.
They just get like the high functioning autistic mathematicians just to like
infinite memory.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, all chapters from the Quran recited in each of the 5 formal prayers performed daily, those are done to keep it fresh in the mind of Muslims. And the 5 prayers are the Fajr, which happens at dawn, the Duhur, that's the noon prayer, then there's the Asr, that happens in the afternoon, Maghrib is the sunset, and Isha'a happens at night. All right, guys, so although the Arab world is often seen as the historical center and heartland of Islam, Arabs actually only make up 20% of the world's Muslim population. 30% of them come from the Indian subcontinent, and the rest of them
yeah,
live
that
in
makes
Asia.
sense. Like, there's a lot of Muslims in India, and then there's some in Russia. Obviously, you have Khabib. I don't even know how to say his last name, but Islam as well. You have Khamzat Shamayev. He's a Muslim. There's a lot of Muslims. I feel like there's Muslims everywhere too, man.
Pretty widespread.
Yeah, there's Muslims everywhere. Except I feel like the only place where there isn't really Muslims is in Europe and North America. But that's fine because they're Christian. So as long as you have a religion, it's like
outside the Middle East and
Maybe the
the
Vatican?
West. The country with the
Why not
largest
have
Muslim
one? I don't
population
know.
actually South America is Christian as well. So
is Indonesia, and that's home to
Yes,
13%
there
of
is
the
like-
entire Muslim population worldwide. Islam is also the largest religion in the entire continent of Africa. Mind blown, right? Yeah, I know. It's usually just always associated with Arabs, especially here in the West. But anyways, guys, that's all the facts I have for you in this episode. And as we presented these facts about Islam, you probably just begin to see exactly where Muslims are coming from, or at least have a better idea. We do these videos to help educate people around the world about the different countries, cultures, people, religions, all that good stuff, in hopes to have each of us
That's
understand
crazy.
each other so that we can move forward, build
that's so many people. All right. Well,
Interesting. Jeez.
I mean, I learned 10 facts. I'll be real. Like,
Yeah, well, the
I learned
video
10 I learned 10 facts.
did as advertised. Very nice. Very good. Would recommend.
Okay. Nice, I guess. I mean, I wanted more context, but I guess that's it. That's what we get. It wasn't interesting. I like seeing people's reactions, but I feel like it was... Maybe they just didn't have anything to say. Yeah. I'm just gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. That's what Ali Dawa taught me, to give people benefit of the doubt, so I'm gonna do it. Yeah, but I feel like I needed more from them, like more context. But anyways, yeah, some people just have their own reasons. And thank you guys for joining me. If you like this video, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.